quick question for you all. Is it easier for you to speed up or slow down? Think of it like a vacation. Is it easy for you to go on vacation and lay on a beach and read a book for 5 days straight? Or is it easier for you to get back to work and get back into the swing of things? Thank you for joining me. This is episode 103. So next week literally is my 2-year anniversary of this podcast. Thank you. Thank you for listening and sharing and joining us. I'm Kathy, and I am very thankful that we all can connect and think differently. And today, what we're going to think differently about is why we need to change our pace. And really, we need to change our pace often. All right. For me personally, I have found, especially in the last year, I've found that it's easier for me to speed up than it is to slow down. Now, I say that, but on the other hand, I'm also going to say that it's still stressful. Whether I'm speeding up or slowing down, both are still stressful. But it is a little bit easier for me to speed things up. So here's some examples. Over the past, actually it was 1 year ago today, I was in Sweden for 2 weeks visiting my brother and his family. And that was an example of when I was slowing down. I mean, it was like a screeching halt vacation. We were there because baby Olivia was born. I mean, she was days old when we arrived. So we were there to clean and cook and just be wherever we needed to be. But Sweden is at a different pace than America. Okay, Sweden's at an extremely slower pace, and it's a different culture, it's a different community, different language. So everything that I was doing, I've never done before, or I guess I did it, on vacation a few years before that, but yet it was a while. So I had to recreate it or refigure it out, and that was causing this kind of screeching halt in my routine, and it was hard. It was really hard. I wanted to, I got off the airplane and had a little jet lag, so we got a little rest, but then I wanted to get up and get going, and what can we do? Can we make food? Can we start cleaning? I'm going to go get groceries. How do I use the bus system? How do I pay? How do I talk to people here in this country? Meanwhile, my brother and his wife are exhausted because Olivia was 4 days old. They're just trying to catch up on sleep, so I had to figure it out, but I was still going at my fast-paced pace that I was used to. That was hard. It was really hard, like throwing a temper tantrum hard for me. So, okay, I've got that example, and I've got a few other, things throughout the last year that have just reminded me slowing down is a challenge. I'm a fast-paced person. I think fast, I walk fast, I do fast, everything about me is fast. But there's times I actually need to speed up. And here's my latest example. So this past weekend, I went and visited our daughter in Milwaukee. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is bigger than Dubuque, Iowa. Probably about 4, 5, 6 times bigger. So first of all, they have an interstate. We don't have an interstate. We have highways. We don't have an interstate. It's a little different, right? So as I'm driving into Milwaukee, I'm coming from Madison, again, bigger city. Going into Milwaukee, you've got 4, 6 lanes and then multiple lanes coming in. So there's a lot of distractions visually. A lot of things are happening. And I can feel my fingers start to grip the wheel a little harder. I feel my shoulders starting to shrug. I feel my eyebrows, the lines in my forehead start coming out because my eyebrows, my jaw is clenching. Even my breathing. There is no deep breathing. There's no relaxing when I'm driving. There's like sitting forward. And seriously, I caught myself so many times sitting forward in my seat, not just kind of, sitting back driving on Iowa highways. This is interstate and there's cars really close and next to me and what's my exit and GPS messes things up, right? Then there's a lot of people. And everything in the Milwaukee area to me is tight spaces. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Well, first of all, my daughter's apartment is not like my 5-bedroom house. There's not as much space in her apartment right there. Boom, we're starting to close in. I mean, claustrophobia here, right? So we're starting to close in into these tight spaces. And then she has a garage to park her car. What a blessing that is. Oh, tight spaces. Not only in the garage is there barely a half an inch on both sides of the car once the car is in the garage, but now let's try to get the car in the garage. So you pull up, and you have to pull up past the garage because we're going to back in. There's no way you can pull in nose first, because right there next to where you're pulling in are more parking spots. I mean, they use every corner that they can for whatever they need to use it for. So you got the cars parked right there, and you've got to maneuver your car back in, and you only have so much, whoo, baby, tight spaces. Yeah, I definitely feel anxiety when I am traveling into this bigger city. I definitely feel the stress as I'm trying to make it happen. But I do things, or I did things that I normally wouldn't put myself into the situation. And that's, I think, one of my biggest learning lessons is it's easier for me to speed up because my pace is already fast, but also what I get to conquer and what I get to accomplish. So one morning, actually one evening, it was Saturday evening, Cassie and I went out to some improv. We saw Joe Gatto. That was very fun. But on the way home, she said, "You're driving her car." I'm like, okay. Well, thank goodness I did, because she made me pull into her garage. I did it. The next day, take her to work, and I had some free time before I was going to go pick her up. So I was picked her up from work one morning, and I was about ready to pull into her garage, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm in a position in my life where I don't have to do anything I don't want to. I can just go find a parking spot on the street, or I don't even have to go back to her apartment, but I don't have to do this. But I get to figure it out. And I did it again. I was so proud. I texted her. I'm like, I did it. I conquered it. I was so proud. You know, sometimes the anxiousness that we feel, it gives us the opportunity to do something that we've never done before, or we never had the opportunity to do before. You know, without a little anxiety, we probably would never have tried to do it. I think about when my middle son Jake, moved to Madison. That's a bigger city, and he's a quieter person. He's never had to move into that realm of his life. He's never had to put himself in situations, but he did. That little anxiousness, that anxiety that we feel, by putting ourselves into positions where we might not be comfortable, we get to do things, we get to conquer things we may have not ever tried. So today, my recommendation for you today is to put yourselves in situations where you do slow down and where you do speed up. We need that in our life. It's kind of like crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzles stimulate our brain in a different way. We need that. We need the pace differences in our life to just stimulate us in different ways. We need to slow down. We need to take breaths. We need to meditate. We need to pray. We need to breathe. We need to do that, but we also need to speed up. So whichever your preference is, do both. Find opportunities, find ways for you to put yourself into both positions. This keeps us on our toes. It keeps us engaged, and it keeps us thinking differently. Isn't that our goal? Isn't that what life's about, is to think differently so that we can be successful? Well, I hope that I've challenged your thoughts and your habits today, because when we do challenge our thoughts and habits, it does make us more efficient and fully empowered. Thank you for joining me. Be great today, my friends. I'll see you next time.